Alright, thank you so much for inviting me to the appraisal on your house. Let's definitely get started and have a look to see what features of the house are going to make it stand out a lot more on the market in comparison to some of the other houses that are in the market. Right off the bat, I can see that the facade that you do have does have noticeable features that will be able to make it a standpoint, including the stone cladding, which I can see from outside. It does look like it goes in through the house. Yeah, which definitely will be a massive feature, including this door, which does give a lot of natural light from the window next to it leading out to the backyard. Moving forward. Okay, so we have 4 lots of linen cupboards, so definitely a massive point in the storage of the house, and then going into a media room with a looked-in TV point, which again is definitely a feature that we don't see in very many houses. From here, we can definitely see the view, which I believe that will be a really good selling point, especially being an acreage block on the hill. You do get that view over the mountains and through those trees, which again will be incredible. Coming through to the kitchen, massive kitchen, lots of stone bench space, which is a really lots of bench space. Caesar stone, 20 mil, which is going to be a really good selling point as well. Through here, massive kitchen, integrated fridge, which again don't see very often in some of these houses, with a bar nook as well as your what's it called?
Pantry.
As well as your pantry. And then, again, more bed space, which for a buyer in this market is just unheard of. People do love having all that bench space to be able to use. Fisher PayPal appliances, another integrated fridge to make it a seamless look. Fixed panel window at the end of the kitchen, which I believe will be another really good selling point for buyers. 1, it does give off a lot of natural light, but then 2, you do have that view. Being that we'll be selling this house for a family, it does also give it that just different point based on if the kids do want to be in the pool and you do need to run in and grab something, you can be able to see them from that open living kitchen dining area, but especially the kitchen. And then shears throughout, which is going to be that chatted fixture which will stay in the house during sale. Another fixture that will be staying in the house that normally won't be staying in the house, I'm going to assume will be your concrete dining table, due to the size and the weight of it. That will be staying and it will be going in with the sale. Thank you so much for taking the time out of, I know, your very busy day to sit with me in relation to the sale of your property.
Yep.
Obviously when we spoke during your appraisal stage, we did talk about the size of the property or the fixtures in your property. However, I know that we didn't really get down to like the nitty gritty, so I did just want to like sort of touch base in relation to sort of like what your needs and expectations going forward with the property would be. Like, are you wanting to do a quick sale? Are you happy to sit on it to potentially get the best price? Do you have any idea of what you would like to try and sit at?
Quick sale.
A quick sale?
Yep.
Any particular reason why you just want a quick sale?
Just want to make some money quick.
Understandable. I think everyone does want to make some money quick. Well, in that case, are you hoping for an auction then, or a private sale? Because with an auction, we can obviously set a particular price, and then once that's made, it's then instantly sold. We don't have to worry about going through cooling down periods, or we can potentially go that private sale, which will then get you ideally, hopefully, a better price, because we can come in with a few offers and hopefully start outbidding some people.
Probably a private sale.
A private sale.
Yeah.
So that might take a little bit longer than an auction, just because it might need to sit on the market until we do find the right buyer, with people wanting to be in a price point. So talking about price point, do you have any idea of where you would like to sit?
Yeah, 900 to $1 million.
Yeah, I think that's definitely very reasonable. You're looking at other houses in this estate as well as around the areas. There are houses going for around that 1.1 to 1.2 price range. And looking at your house in relation to those, I definitely think we can come in probably a little bit higher. However, with coming in a little bit higher, we do just need to talk about some potential fixtures that we might be wanting to leave with the property. For instance, this beautiful dining table, like, are you planning on keeping this in with the sale? Are you planning on taking it with you?
No, the dining table can stay. It's way too heavy.
Is it?
Yeah.
It looks heavy, it looks beautiful. So this will stay with the property during sale?
Yeah.
So that in itself is definitely a selling point for potential buyers to be able to have furniture already in the house and fixtures already in the house and chatter for that particular design that they are wanting. So I definitely think that will make a huge difference.
Have the swings too.
Swings?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did notice that. I noticed that in the living area and in one of the kids' bedrooms, you had some egg chairs, which again does definitely go with the design and the flow of the house. Talking about the flow of the house, when was this built?
2-3 years ago.
Yeah, see, that in itself is definitely a really good selling point for the market, because looking at all the other houses in this particular estate itself, they are looking to be between that 15 and 20 year mark. So that does make this house jump out because it is a finished house. You don't have to worry about renovating or living in an older house. Hence why I believe we can go with that higher price point.
Sounds good.
So talking about going in with that higher price point, there are just a couple things that I do believe will just emphasize that particular buyer. And they are recommendations that I do make in improvements on the house. They are quite minor. One of them that I did notice when walking in was on the driveway, there was some algae. Obviously a couple $100, put the chemicals on it and just get it clean, because that is something that you are going to be seeing walking through the house, especially for open homes, private inspections. It is the first thing they will be seeing walking through, especially that beautiful cactus garden. I know that is such a eye opener and people do see it as a striking standpoint, but then you are looking at that, so you are seeing all of that area. The second point that I do want to point out, I know that you do have your beautiful large door. When you open it, you do look out to see that incredible view. However, there is a little bit of an eyesore, which would be your pendant lights. So obviously walking through, there is the one missing. I know accidents can potentially happen, don't need to go into it. However, again, a couple $100 and that will just finish off that area, especially for a buyer coming in. And then one more thing I did notice.
Yeah, I'll get my wife to sort it out.
Yeah, definitely. One more thing that I did notice is just the skirting boards and some of the corners of the main area. I am aware that you guys do have a family, so I'm assuming small kids, and you can just see the handprints and the dirtiness of it. So just cleaning that up and bringing that up to a really nice standard, which in itself would be quite a minimal cost to you guys, but again, to a potential buyer, that is a bit of a game changer. So there probably just a little bit of a few improvements that I could make, but like in the house as an overall, you do have the size of the house, the size of the block. Like, I know it is an acreage block, so that is very sought out after at the moment. The other couple features that I just noticed in the house that will make it just a bit more of a standpoint is the fact that you do have the pool, you do have the solar panels, and you do have that air conditioning throughout, which, yeah, is incredible. So in relation to all of that, we obviously did talk about potentially sitting in that 1.2 to 1.3 price range. Are you happy with that price range? Because I know you were sort of expecting a little bit lower.
Yeah, no, it would be nice to get more.
Yeah, everyone would love to get more.
Mm.
Yeah. So if you are happy to go ahead with all of that, moving forward, we would then get you to sign our contract to say that you will exclusively go with us. We do prefer just to have that like exclusivity, so we're not trying to fight for clients and potential buyers, and it just makes it a bit more of a smoother process. Keeping that in mind, we do sit at a 3.3% plus GST for commission. You do have marketing on top of that, which will be sitting around that $2,000 mark, which does include your photos, your pamphlets, brochures, the sign up front of your property, and all your website, so domain, real estate, where the house will be listed. That does also include any just fees and charges that might pop up in the interim of the sale of the property. That is all inclusive in that cost. We understanding everything so far? Is there anything you need me to go through? Any details that you are sort of like questioning?
No, it makes sense.
Yeah, perfect. So once all of that is up online, we would then start the open homes and potentially private inspections. So obviously that would be, ideally we would probably want to try and do one during the week after work hours, just because you'll be able to see that beautiful sunset around the hill area that you are currently on. It also does give buyers that potential to be able to come after work, and then another open home on the Saturday or Sunday, depending on scheduling. Ideally, open homes will be able to bring a lot more people in. We'll be constantly calling, and any inquiries made, we'll be definitely like putting that through to them to get them to come through. And then we'll be following up with pretty much anyone that comes through for an inspection. Hopefully that then leads us to a offer, but unfortunately you never know. But obviously the more that we do, the more traction we'll have, and ideally the more people that will be able to do offers. Especially if you want to do a quick sale, it would just sort of like work that way. And then if there is any particular information that you do require, even if it's before signing the contract, if you have any more questions, I am in touch on email, phone, text. You can come into the office. I am in the office quite a fair bit, but my number is always open to you. Ideally, I do try and stick within that 9 to 4, Monday to Friday. However, if there is an emergency, I am definitely reachable. And yeah, so again, if we are happy to go through, I will send you through a Form 6, which is pretty much our contract, just to state the exclusivity. You're happy with our commissions, our marketing, and all of those costs, as well as going ahead with the sale of the property.
Sounds good. You're hired.
Is there any other questions that you might potentially want to ask, or any part of the process that
How long does it take to get a sale usually?
At the moment, from looking between all the houses that are currently in this estate, they are sitting on the market between like 30 to 45 days. When we do list it, we are going to try and list your property at that 1.299 mark, just because I know that we want to try and get that 1.3. So if we do list it in that 1.2 bracket, it hopefully will bring a bit more traction to buyers with that budget, and then maybe they might be able to stretch it up to that 3. So obviously the more traction we get, the more open homes we do, the more letter drops we do. Ideally we'll be able to get off the market a bit quicker, but we are sitting around that 30 to 45 day mark.
Cool.
So yeah, ideally we will be in touch on a weekly basis with updates. Obviously if open home happens, we will give you an update of the open home. If it's in the afternoon, it will be the following day. If it's on a Saturday, we'll try and get it back to that same day. Otherwise, it will be the Sunday or that Monday, depending on how that weekend goes. It will include how many people came through, any offers, any expressions of interest, and just...
You still do an open home if no one... Yeah, like
Yeah.
appointments are made?
Probably in the afternoons, we probably won't, but on a Saturday, we will still do the open home if we don't have any expressions of interest, just in case there might be someone that saw it that day and couldn't get a hold of someone, or someone's doing a drive-by. Obviously, if they do come in, we will get all of their details, just for a security purpose, so we have all their details and we know their name and their details, and it also will just give us a chance to follow up and reach out to them if they have any questions, or if they want to potentially put an offer in.